Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Junet.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning?
Good.
Fantastic. Good morning, our favorite Nigerian. Please, you know you look like Naomi Campbell this morning.
Ooh, I take it. Let me say
One of the
amen.
most beautiful women in the world.
Thank
you are so
you,
beautiful this
Thank
morning.
you
How are you this morning?
With all that flattery, I'm
Yes,
great now this morning.
correct. Very good. Rufy on fire. Very good. Share Wakpa or show Wakpa. There's somebody told me don't say show Wakpa to Dr. Abati again. It's share Wakpa. Is it correct?
Yeah, because of all the persons.
I love learning Yoruba language.
Yeah.
Well, how are you this morning? Fantastic.
Very well.
Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending in St. Lucia, where Nigeria's president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on Monday proposed visa waivers for holders of diplomatic and official passports from the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, urging reciprocal measures to facilitate smoother official travel and closer institutional cooperation. Tinubu made the announcement while addressing a special joint session of St. Lucia's bicameral parliament. Beyond visa waivers, Tinubu also outlined a comprehensive framework to deepen ties between Nigeria and the Caribbean states, including full scholarships for OECS students to promote cultural understanding and strengthen bonds. Let's take a listen.
Beyond education, we must also encourage more frequent visits between our peoples, allowing them to experience firsthand the unique cultural attractions and the historic sites that define our identities. In a concrete step towards this goal, Nigeria is open to exploring a visa waiver arrangement for holders of diplomatic and official passports from OECS member states traveling to Nigeria. An African proverb teaches us, and I quote, "If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, go together." I will establish full scholarship tuition for students of OECS.
All right, Vimbai, you know, we always encourage these sort of cultural exchange programs, bilateral relations, which we've seen, you know, the Tinubu administration, you know, cooperate with a lot of nations. But, you know, I have a story that I will take later on during the course of What's Trending, and it's the story about, you know, school teachers still on strike in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. And so that's what got a lot of reactions from this actual offer from the president to the St. Lucians, saying that he's going to offer full scholarship with a sort of exchange program. Let me take this tweet from Oladele, who wrote, "You are in Abuja. School teachers in Abuja are on strike for months now. Which education are you talking about?" Well, Wale Sholabi wrote, "This is a good idea. The exchange is needed. We cannot do business if we do not have educational and cultural exchanges. The Caribbean students have a lot to gain from this program." Well, another ex-user wrote, "What about people in Nigeria here? Do we not need scholarships to study abroad? LOL. I mean, that's another question, Vimbai, for you.
So there's so many moving pieces to this, and earlier Dr. Abati and Rufai had analyzed, and I think one of the salient takeaways from it is, what is the state of our education system, especially tertiary education? One of the biggest issues bedeviling the tertiary education system at the moment is the issue of power. You know, the increase in power tariffs mean that most of our universities at the moment are struggling to keep the lights on. Students are studying by candlelight. The conditions are just not conducive. So if this is the vehicle he's going to use to then invest into our tertiary education, education, then let it be. But some people would say, well, it seems like putting the cart before the horse. Maybe we should have, modernized and ensured that our own education system was efficient first before bringing people in. As much as everybody is welcome, I will always testify to the fact that Nigeria is one of the most hospitable places on earth. Everybody is welcome. However, Nigerians are saying, what about us?
Yes.
We want to go to university too. Okay, fine. There's the Now Fund scheme, which allows people to get funding to be able to go to university. But the system itself, I have to give a commendation to this administration that we've seen less of the lecturer strikes, the ASU strikes and so forth under this particular administration. However, it doesn't mean that all is well within tertiary education. Very lastly, another of the initiatives that will be pushed, that was pushed during this trip in St. Lucia, is the extension of the Nigerian Technical Aid Corps. Now, this is an initiative that falls under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and its motto is Africa as a centerpiece. So every year, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, under the TAC, sends skilled workers to various countries around the world, specifically in the South, Africa, and the Caribbean. So since its inception in 1987, under Head of State Ibrahim Babangida, we've sent over 10,000 professionals around the world to Caribbean countries, African countries, to go and volunteer there for 2 years, and then the government covers their costs and so forth while they're there. So this is a program that they want to extend. So I think that's a good opportunity for professionals who want to get some experience and exposure to other African and Caribbean countries.
Yes, I do actually like that, and also the fact about the topic about the visa waivers. I mean, it is good to encourage such investors into our country at the moment. And let's speak about immigration as well. The United States government has reportedly initiated a denaturalization process which involves revoking the citizenship of naturalized Americans. According to a memo published on the website of the U.S. Department of Justice on June 11th, attorneys were directed to prioritize denaturalization proceedings against citizens who had illegally procured or procured naturalization by concealment of a material fact or by willful misrepresentation, and against naturalized citizens suspected, even if not convicted, of criminal or gang-related activities. The news has sparked concerns among civil rights advocates who argue that such efforts could undermine the principles of equal protection and the rule of law and potentially be misused to marginalize entire communities. In the meantime, a Nigerian hair vendor with a valid B1-B2 visa was denied entry into the United States after U.S. immigration officials reportedly checked her Instagram and private messages. The woman, Chinelo Ejianwu, shared a tearful video on social media explaining that she was detained for 24 hours upon arrival in Texas, where she intended to participate in a trade fair. Despite stating that her purpose was to attend business meetings, officials found discrepancies between her declared reason for travel and the content on her social media accounts, including messages from customers. Let's take a look.
When I landed, I was detained for like 24 hours in their detention room. And when I was questioned, I told them that I was just only going to exhibit. But I didn't know any better because the US has all your data, your Instagram page, every single thing. So apparently, my Instagram obviously says different because they even checked all my messages with my customers. You know, the customers have been telling that we're coming and they can pick up and, you know, all of that. This one got so bad. It hurt so bad. I could have just told them the truth, even if it means them seizing all my goods, like the things I came with. But I've told myself this is not the time to start regretting. I have someone that will stand in for me. Support me as much as you can.
All right, a lot of lessons here with the U.S. immigration at this moment. I mean, you know, the B1, B2 visa allows you to attend business meetings, primarily a visitor's visa. But I mean, this young woman was actually going to a trade fair. So she was going to do some transactions, and that would require a different sort of a visa. But we're seeing this crackdown by the Trump administration on immigration. The other story that I read about denaturalizing citizens because of certain crimes. Okay, this is a flyer to prove that this woman was going for a trade fair. Dr. Bati, go ahead.
There is, an island mentality that is abroad under President Trump's watch in the United States. If you like, you say provincialism. If you like, you say isolationism. American for Americans alone, if possible. And we have made the point here that it is ironic that a president who is himself a son, a descendant of immigrants, if anybody was in doubt, the German chancellor brought the birth certificate of his own grandfather to just say cynically that, look, you are even also an immigrant here. But, however, we have had issues with students, foreign students, studying in either Harvard or Columbia. We have had persons who have been accused of anti-Semitism, who have been deported. We have had persons sent to Venezuela and sent to Ecuador, driven out of the United States because of this growing culture of intolerance. Now, we have also had the decision taken by the Trump administration about citizenship by birth, natural citizenship by birth, which went all the way to the Supreme Court, although the Supreme Court did not rule on the constitutionality of it. And then, of course, you have ICE, all over the place, arresting people and all of that. Now, you also have third country deportation. We have discussed that here. If they arrest you, you can be sent to South Sudan, which is a war zone, as the ICE authorities please. So we need to see this in the context of this, of this behavior within the United States. However, with regard to denaturalization, the whole argument is that if you conduct yourself in a manner that breaches national security of the United States, sexual offenses, involvement in any kind of crime, drug trafficking, human trafficking, then what the Department of Justice is saying is that the attorneys reserve the right to initiate a process to withdraw that denaturalization. And I think they were quoting that in the enabling law, if you do something criminal, you could be, denaturalized. Second, to go to the ladies' matter, I think you already asked the question. These visas, they have categories, B1, B2. If you have a B1, B2 visa, you cannot use it for J1, J2 purposes, or you cannot use it in another category. I think you already answered the question. The only thing to add here is that people should know that a visa, you hold the visa at the pleasure of the host or receiving country. So the fact that you have been given visa in your home country does not mean that you can enter that country. You can be turned back at the port of entry. Sure. If it is determined that there's something untidy, there is even no argument about it. In fact, when you want to enter certain countries, they may give you visa for 2 years. The immigration officer at the port of entry may decide to give you 2 weeks and say after 2 weeks, please go. So, and it's a matter of discretion generally. But I guess that people can learn from this lady's story to just know that, the visa regime in the receiving country is not an automatic.
Yes.
But we sympathize with her. But she then made arrangements for people to represent her at the trade fair. And this is about the enterprise, of the average Nigerian. She was going to America to sell what do they call it? Attachment.
No, it's extensions. It's not attachment.
Is it extension?
The attachment was the olden days way of describing it. It's called extension.
I once went to Rio de Janeiro, and I went to the supermarket. I said, I want to buy Brazilian hair. They said, you want to buy Brazilian hair in Brazil? See the hair on our heads now. Anyway, that's just on the light.
Both straight, they have Brazilian, they have both straight. There's both wavy and all of that. I forget their names these days.
Those ones get level. Yeah. The 2 million naira.
Yes, if you go on her Instagram page, she's a proper hair vendor. She has hair ranging ranging from 2 million to 5 million and all whatnot. But I
don't
guess,
worry,
like
I know
you
the
said,
figures.
yes, I know you know. Don't worry. you have class. But I think the real lesson here is that the Trump administration, with their immigration policy, they are really very strict at this point. ICE is not joking. You cannot go to the United States with a B1, B2 visa to do transactions. So I'm sure that this young woman has learned at this moment. We'll head over to the Federal Capital Territory now, where workers under the Joint Union Action Committee on Monday staged a protest at the office of FCT Minister Wike to voice their grievances regarding unpaid allowances, withheld wage awards for health workers, delayed overhead releases, and non-payment of hazard allowances. The protesters also expressed frustration over the 2-month strike by FCT primary school teachers who are protesting the non-implementation of the 70,000 naira new minimum wage by the area councils, which has led to the closure of over 400 schools and disrupted examinations. Let's take a look.
A lot of good might be happening in the FCT, but the unit FCTA is suffering. No promotion, no training and retraining of staff, no constant salary. You collect 100,000 today, tomorrow you collect 80,000. No payment of our auxiliary staff for 7 months. No overhead, that is recurrent money to run off the office since December last year till now. No training. Our children are at home because the area councils chairmen have refused to pay the teachers, and all of them are under the minister of the FCT.
We are not fighting him, but we are asking him to listen to FCT staff because FCT staff are seriously suffering. We are suffering.
This was a valid protest. If we're saying over 400 schools have been closed at this point, look at the sort of conversation we're having. I mean, we must praise the FCT minister for some of the things that he has done, especially with infrastructure, but this is absurd. Only 2 weeks ago, we took the story of VDM wearing a school uniform, giving an ultimatum saying that these teachers haven't been paid. 70,000 naira, you heard their grievances right there. I know that the Trade Union Congress and other civil society organizations have supported this protest. Your thoughts?
So that's what we're saying this
Yes.
morning. President Tinubu went to St. Lucia to give scholarship to students.
Question.
But in his domot, like they say, wages have not been paid. FCT minister used 39 billion to renovate International Conference Center. But to pay the suffering Nigerians that never get anything out of this country, they never get the fair deal, they'll never be on top. Probably they will be lucky one of their people will be in government at some point, but they will perpetually live a cycle of chasing this golden fleece to pay them a minimal amount that will help them to be able to buy the basics of life. It's so difficult. They have to protest. Schools are shut in the FCT.
It's unacceptable.
But we are going around and showing that we have money to give scholarship to St. Lucia. We are renovating International Conference Center. We are doing roads. Every day now you check the paper, one road being done or the other. What's the essence of road and infrastructure when the real structure, which is human beings, when the stomach infrastructure is not there and people are living in penury? It is a man that is alive that will drive on the road that has been built. But when a man is so hungry and the real people you need to cater to are not being catered to, these people are not coming to beg for money. They are coming to beg for their rights. They didn't go and meet President Tinubu. He was the one that announced it with his mouth. We increase your fees. After he announced it, show walkings is a problem. agreement is agreement. It don't receive for settlements. They are telling these people nonsense. But we are seeing the kind of things people are doing with money, especially government officials. Government officials go around in big jeeps. So we would like to go ahead and call them to order. You know, people can talk about these salaries not being paid to government officials that is pervasive across board. There are some other people too also suffering it. You know, they can say all of these things that, you know, their interests that abound and things like that.
This is
you know, I mean, they can even remember that this 1st of July and say everything that abounds.
Rufai, can you focus on the subject?
But these people, as we are in 1st of July, since for many months, they've not paid these people
Rufai,
the new money.
Can you listen to Dr.
So,
Abati?
with due respect, the truth is we have to say the truth at all times. And even if we are in a good position, we receive salaries.
We do.
But the other people out there,
yes,
they can't receive anything.
No, but I mean,
There's
this is
pain.
unfortunate.
It's so painful.
I mean, I guess the protest will continue.
Yes,
we're
it
going
should
to
continue.
see some people out through the course of the week. Like I said, the Trade Union Congress, so civil society, they are out there. The FCT, our capital territory, we cannot be having this sort of conversation. 70,000 naira minimum wage should be constant. It's not something, it's non-negotiable. That is their rights. The teachers need to return to school and workers need to be paid accordingly. Well, let's take this human angle story now. A farmer in Kebbi State rescued a baby girl who had been buried alive on his farm. The incident occurred as the farmer, Malam Kabiru Kamba, was tending to his crops when he noticed an unusual disturbance in the soil. Upon investigation, the farmer noticed an unusual ridge compared to the regular ridge in his farmland. He immediately alerted local authorities who helped uncover the newborn baby girl who had been buried and left for dead. Let's take a look.
Ana kaji yana gama ga kuka jariri ne na da bude ku bude wai a kirwai Allah shi mana ruwa za yi Allah shi mana ruwa ya za yi Allah shi mana ruwa kai dai wanga zane mai zanen ma an santa to ganin ta ai na ga maka su ana bin daddigin abun za a gano ko wane ne wace sabon aihuwa ta ai ya ma dan yi kokari da ma bai irin Allah ya isa Allah ya isa Allah ya isa Allah ya isa. Allah akbar. An buɗe an sa zane uku an lullube shi an sami an daddaure ci aka ya mutu. Kawai ya mutu. Kawai an ɗaura wuyan kawai ya mutu.
God bless Malam Kamba. I mean, this is a miracle baby. A miracle baby. The baby was immediately taken for medical attention and is said to be in stable condition. The farmer has taken the baby for himself. I mean, he is taking care of the baby at this point until local authorities find the identity of this woman who committed this heinous crime. Apparently, the baby was wrapped in 3 wrappers because, I mean, the intention was for her to die. Your thoughts?
Gosh, this is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking in so many ways. But firstly, I just want to celebrate the resilience of this little life, this miraculous little life, miracle baby. And I hope that people can come together just to, because, you know, babies in this economy are not, it's not for the faint-hearted. So I hope people can come together to raise some money for this, this baby and give him or her a real chance at life. However, now to the crime of, you know, giving birth, you can see that's a freshly born. He or she still had a little bit of blood on his face. So straight out of the womb is my suspicion, and straight into the ground. Now, I want to say that this is a disgusting crime, but I also want to highlight what happens when some people go through postpartum depression. Because there's several stories around postpartum depression where you hear women who are at various stages of, whether just giving birth or even a week in. It can go on for as long as 1 year in some cases. And these women have an inclination to want to harm their child in extreme cases of postpartum depression. I'm not saying this is the case here. The woman may have been extremely poor. Whatever the case may be, nothing excuses this. But for me, I think this is an important time for us to talk about the psychological journey that women go through during pregnancy and after giving birth that can make a lot of women run mad. Yeah. Now, what more for a woman who's possibly in a desperate situation, poverty and so forth? This is wrong. She should be found. She should be jailed. However, it's now important for us to now focus on supporting women, pregnant women. Doesn't matter what level of society they're in, but pregnant women often don't get the level of support that they need, the psychological support that they need, especially once that child is born. I hope they find the woman. The woman should be arrested. It's a bittersweet story because I'm just so glad that beautiful baby is alive and well.
Well, despite the stress, the pressure cooker lifestyle that Nigerians go through, I think it's refreshing to see again and again that there are still certain persons in this community in whom the milk of human kindness still flows.
That's Farmer
the other day,
right there.
The other day, you brought the story of a gentleman who returned about 4 million naira to a trader. This was a tricycle rider who returned money. Today now we have the example of Malam Kabiru Kamba, who found a lady on his farm and decided to approach the authorities, the local government authorities, to say he would rather keep the baby and bring her up. Now, incidentally, he has the support of his wife. His wife is a nursing mother, and he was saying that, look, with his wife's support, feeding the baby with baby milk and all that, would not be a problem. It is people like this that we recommend for national honors. Yes. And I hope that the relevant authorities will be collecting the names of these persons who still show that even when Nigeria happens, there are some people who are still very kind-hearted. They are the ones we should see on national honors list, not people just carrying Babariga or Agbada or Ishiagu up and down, and they cannot account for whatever they have contributed. However, I see your point about postpartum depression. Yes. Well, in most cases, some of these, there's also the challenge of teenage pregnancy. Yeah. There's also the challenge of poverty. Yes. You must have had those early days when we were doing adolescent sexuality seminars. They used to talk about adolescent sexuality, and there were many girls who will have a baby. They will not let their parents know. Yeah. They don't want anybody to know because it's considered some kind of stigma, and they can just throw the baby away. But there is no justification for it. It is called man's inhumanity to man. Exactly. Even that day-old baby has a right to life, guaranteed under Nigerian laws.
And with due respect, please, I would like to beg men out there, if you put a woman in a family way, accept responsibility.
Yes, that's it.
Because that's another factor in all of this. A lot of men, you put a woman in a family way, and the next thing you say, it's not mine, and you walk away, and you leave the woman flat-footed. The woman should not bear the pain alone. If you put a woman, if you do the do, accept the baby that comes from doing the do. Yes. That's just it. Please, we beg.
Fantastic. Our commendation goes to,
the do is superu.
Our commendation goes to the authorities and to Farmer Kamba, amazing human being right there. And we thank God for our miracle baby. We'll follow up on her story. Let's take our story under milestones now. Recognizing the Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation for disbursing over 50 million naira to 111 civil servants who have demonstrated exceptional excellence, integrity, and innovation in public service delivery during the 2025 Civil Service Week Gala. The Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation, founded by Aig-Imoukhuede Aig-Imoukhuede, is dedicated to improving the lives of Africans through transformed public service delivery and enhanced access to quality primary health care. The 50 million naira disbursement initiative is part of the Emily Aig-Imoukhuede Endowment Fund, which aims to recognize and reward outstanding public servants. The Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation stated that this year's award marks a significant milestone as the foundation expanded the recognition program with the introduction of 2 new award categories: the Presidential Civil Service Merit Award with a cash prize of 500,000 naira, and the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation Epic Award with a cash prize of 250,000 naira. A key goal of the Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation is to cultivate approximately 3,000 highly effective civil servants within the next decade, equipping them with the necessary skills and leadership to drive sustainable change. This is an absolute commendation for the Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation. Like Aig-Imoukhuede had said, that this actual cash prize and the award marks a significant milestone for them because of this new category that they have introduced. All right, Dr. Abate, a quick comment and we move on.
Okay, I was just going to say that, it's good you have brought this story.
Yes.
I think as far back as 2018, 7 years ago, back page of this day, I wrote an article titled Aig-Imoukhuede Initiative, I think, for public governance.
Yes.
The article was titled. And it was about, the Aig Foundation.
Yes.
It has this program about public service. So
Correct.
the commitment has been there for a long time, whereby it sends students for master's degree in public policy.
Yes,
I think at the University of Oxford.
Oxford.
So
Blavatnik
School of Government.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
every year, every academic session is also training people to see how, excellence, innovation, can be developed, promoted within the public service system. And now he has named this as an extension of that
Correct.
original program, to also encourage civil servants. And it's just a good thing that, the Emily Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation is collaborating with the Office of the Head of Service.
Correct.
And that they have about 2 categories of awards to encourage people in public service and to show people in public service that there is value in hard work and integrity.
Yes.
And we hope that if we populate the system with more of these people through this initiative, private initiative, we will have more civil servants who will not be hiding files.
Fantastic.
And who will not be asking for bribe to move files. The bureaucracy in Nigeria.
All right.
But, enough said about that.
Well said, Dr. Abate. Congratulations to the Aig-Imoukhuede Foundation. We'll take our good news report now, celebrating the remarkable achievements of Joseph Atedoghu, a Nigerian student who graduated with top honors from Academic City University in Ghana. Joseph Atedoghu earned multiple accolades, including Best Student in his Department of Electrical, Electronics, and Computer Engineering. He also earned the Academic City President's Award and was the overall Best Student of the class of 2025 with an exceptional GPA of 3.95. Joseph's success is attributed to his passion for problem solving, which he applied to developing innovative solutions for African challenges. Notably, his final year thesis involved creating a portable and affordable sensor for detecting mercury contamination in water bodies, a significant environmental issue in Ghana and Nigeria. The innovation aligns with multiple UN Sustainable Development Goals. Beyond the invention, Joseph also co-led the development of Smart NELD, a system for smartphone-controlled devices, and played a crucial role in designing an affordable surgical lamp for underserved hospitals. He also contributed to an automated poultry farm project. Joseph credits his supportive and entrepreneurial environment at Academic City University for fostering his innovative mindset.
And this honor goes to Joseph Ibuduma Apriala Atedoghu, our valedictorian of 2025.
I still remember my first day at Academic City University. I wasn't exactly lost, but I was quiet, taking everything in. What struck me wasn't the tech or the buildings, it was the people. Total strangers were always smiling at me, asking me if I was okay and even offering to walk with me. That kind of kindness really caught me off guard. From that day, I knew ACT wasn't just a school, it was a community.
Fantastic. I mean, Joseph's story is so inspiring. He's a perfect example of African potential and the ability of young innovators to create impactful solutions for their communities. What a good news report. Congratulations, Joseph. We'll take the story now under entertainment. Controversial singer Darlington Okoye, popularly known as Speed Darlington, has been declared wanted by the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons in connection with alleged offenses including rape, cyberbullying, and cyberstalking. The declaration follows a viral video in which Speed Darlington claimed to have had a sexual encounter with a 15-year-old girl, although he later attempted to backtrack, claiming his confession was a publicity stunt. The Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency had already forwarded the case to NAPTIP for further action. Speed Darlington has now responded to the agency, dismissing the allegations, stating that he has committed no crime. In a video posted on his social media page, the artist said he would not honor the invitation unless he is paid a 2.5 million naira appearance fee. Let's take a look.
This video is for NAPTIP. No one pay attention. All this wanted you post away when I post this video. You need to take that down. I'm not coming. You hear me? I'm not coming. I have not committed any crime. All I did was speak. Irresponsible talk is not a crime. I'm not coming. Okay? Where is your evidence? Who is the complainant? Hey? When I want to use me, collect social media clouds. Hey, look at us. We are doing our job. We summoned a celebrity and he came. 2.5 million is what I charge for appearance. When I will pay me 2.5 million plus round trip tickets for me and my PA to come because I call that appearance. You feel me? Because I know you guys have no evidence. There is no crime. All I did was try to trend. You have no evidence. You have nothing. So me coming there is waste of my time. Are they not 15-year-old girl not crime? Where is the evidence? When I remove me from that list, where I put on myself? Honestly, I go sooner for defamation of character for spoiling my name.
For spoiling my name.
You know who I pity? His mother. Because before you know now, his mother will be coming to beg.
We did that.
You see,
for spoiling my name.
With mothers out there, it's a very touchy situation, and I respect mothers.
Yes.
But with due respect, this man thinks it's a joke.
This is the thing.
He further repeated that he sleeps with 15-year-olds.
You heard him right
in
there.
that video.
All right.
Irregular speedometer.
He says to knock a 15-year-old not crime. Yes, it is a crime.
Absolutely.
It's called rape. Right? Because a girl of 15 has not fallen within the age of consent.
Yes.
And that's abuse. 2, he said irresponsible talk is not a crime. No, irresponsible talk is a crime. There's something in our law books called verbal abuse, insult. In fact, that's the whole thing that they are, touching upon. Section 24, Section 1B of the Cybercrime Act. You may say it's controversial, but you are not allowed to talk in a reckless manner that you can generate hate, envy, or cause public panic. If you go about saying you knock, whatever that one means, 15-year-old, you are confessing with your own mouth that you are a rapist.
This is unfortunate.
And to say that you are a rapist, the state has the right to investigate.
This is it.
So this is just a case of effrontery and audacity, and I think that the relevant authorities should not allow him to get away with it.
This is it.
Because others may want to emulate his example.
Him, absolutely.
Spewing nonsense and standing by it.
Correct.
He thinks that this is Nollywood.
I don't know what he's thinking. Bimba, apparently he has jackpot to the abroad. He has jackpot, so he says 2.5 million naira is the only way he can return to Nigeria.
He will come back one day. We'll be waiting for him.
Well, all right. His appearance fee is also there. Well, all right. I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on what's trending. Unbelievable. Darlington. Well, that's all I have for you guys on what's trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.